Yo, just going live real quick. Question is, who's your daddy?
Hi, welcome to Guns America. I'm True.
That's the question. Who's your daddy? I want to do the Americans really know what's going on, who their daddy is. Well, I ain't gonna hold up no more time. We gonna jump right into this real quick. All right, we gonna jump into this real quick, real quick. Hold on. Sorry, real quick. We gonna jump into this. All right, let's go. Hey, what's going on, y'all? What's going on, y'all? Real quick, we gonna jump into this. Let's go. That man bringing y'all the news real quick. Just say, all right. Just had to give y'all that intro real quick. You know, that's one of my favorite intros. You know what I mean? Shock the system. All right. Well, let's get into it. Let's get into it real quick because I don't got that much time. So we're gonna hop into it real quick. Let's hop on this. Real quick, we're gonna hop on this real quick. I want to show y'all who's the daddy. So we gonna look at a rant that happened, right? With a Nancy Pelosi supporter. Nancy Pelosi is the lady that tore up Donald Trump's speech, which is now costing her. But I want y'all to see what her supporters are saying. But she's saying that Donald Trump got the racist supporters. But I want y'all to see it. Here we go.
I'm gonna catch you when all the cameras are around. I'm gonna you up on the fire.
No, you got the wrong guy. No, you got the very wrong guy. Why are you so angry? I don't understand. I'm just here chatting with you. Why are you angry, man? Because here's the thing. You probably disagree with me. I disagree with you.
Actually, not you there.
For what? What?
Because you're racist.
How do you know? You don't know one thing about me. I go to a public housing project.
I know by looking at you.
I go to a public housing project.
You did. Wherever you grew up, you should go back there.
So hold on. I don't know why it switched like that. Hold on. There we go. Bear this way. There we go. Finish playing for y'all.
And including helping people get better. I've been here for 30 years. I'm not so sure how long you've lived here. Well, I'm here 30 years. I'm the guy. I'm not going anywhere. I got my family. So you can't keep moving.
I'm gonna catch you when all the cameras are around. I'm gonna you up on the fire.
No, you got the wrong guy. You got the very wrong guy.
I'm gonna catch you when all the cameras are around. I'm gonna you up on the fire.
No, you got the wrong guy. You got the very wrong guy. Why are you so angry? I don't understand. I'm just here chatting with you. Why are you angry, man? Because here's the thing. You probably disagree with me.
Now,
I disagree with you.
now the guy in the yellow is a Nancy Pelosi. The guy in the yellow is a Nancy Pelosi follower. Very negative. Very nasty. and the other guy is a guy that's challenging her. So that way, I guess they can run for a seat. Well, here's what I'm gonna show y'all. That's one part. Everybody that's under everybody that's following the Democrats and the Nancy Pelosi thing. Black Queen, I'm glad you said that. I want you to stay on because I guarantee you're really about to change your whole tune. Everybody that does that, right, is crazy because the Democrats have the Me Too movement and everything. So what I'm gonna do, I want y'all to look at some of the high praising Democrats that y'all know. I'm gonna start with the Boy Scout thing. I don't know if y'all heard about it, but hey, how y'all doing, everybody? But the Boy Scouts have filed back that when the Boy Scouts was just the Boy Scouts, they was ran by the Republicans, you ain't have a problem. As soon as the Democrats, Obama and them pushed that same-sex agenda, now look what's happening. When it was made to bring the females into Boy Scouts, now look. Hey, Mom Ray. You see what I'm saying? So the Democrats is really the ones that's destroying everything. But you don't gotta take my word for it. Hold on. I'm gonna show y'all something else about your book. Barack Obama. He wore either a black tie or a blue tie, right? I want y'all to tell me the difference. And why Obama have a blue tie on. Well, the ties represent power for the Vatican. And the red means outcast. The blue and darker ones means controlled, access. So who got the red on, which is the outcast, versus the control, versus the access. But hold on, now I'll speed through this because I want y'all to understand what's going on. This is the most dumbest thing I've ever seen. The last name base for sovereignty is the Republic of DC. It's not a state. It's not a colony. It's not nothing. It's just a republic. But look what they're trying to do. They're trying to make it a state. Once you make it a state, you add it into the bankruptcy that the United States have went through, and you make it a corporation. I do that. This one right here, I think carries the weight. Hold on, I'm really just speeding through this real quick because this live is going to be a quick live because I got a lot of stuff to come back. Now, for all of y'all people that sit back and be like, oh, Obama was a great president, I'm about to show y'all why he wasn't. They haven't talked about this. Obama personally asked the FBI to investigate somebody on behalf of George Soros. Here's my question. If everybody know who George Soros is, can I get either a thumbs up, a hand wave, or strong joint, or fist? If y'all know who George Soros is, I want to see if y'all know. Miss January know. Obama didn't get nothing done. Obama got a lot done. Obama was sent in to do low down one. Okay. Vicky Diller just exposed Mrs. Obama. Yeah, Vicky Diller did.
She code 4.
But behind there's a miss, there's always a mister. Right? So, do y'all know who George Soros is? Everybody know who he is.
So we got CCP.
Hold on. Everybody know what George Soros does. Do everybody know what he does? And when I show y'all this, y'all should really be mad. Why you worried? But because I have friends who are part of the United States, of course I'm going to be upset. And you should be too, Sonia. Here's the reason why. George Soros, this is who he is. The second richest man in the world. He funds all your wars. He makes money off of y'all. He also made fun. He also joke. But I want y'all to see what he said. I'm going to hate groups. We'll put them into a mental trap, and make them blame white people. The black community is the easiest to manipulate. George Soros. And I'm going to leave it here for y'all to read. Now, I told y'all about the different words, how different spellings. This is not the corporation. He works for the corporation. This is the Republic. You see how it's spelled? And first person, prime person noun. And he's truly a Democrat. So, just giving y'all a little bit real quick. Jennifer, you got it. And Jennifer, he makes a good point. Because all about Black Lives Matter. But also, I'm going to show you a short video. I'm going to show you 2 videos in this. Short video number 1. I'm just telling y'all, short video number 1.
Just how rich and powerful is Lord Evelyn Rothschild? Historically, the Rothschild family wealth was hidden in underground vaults. The Rothschild secret financial records were never audited and never accounted for. Their family commissioned biographies give the illusion that their family fortune has dwindled, but researchers estimate their wealth at close to $500 trillion, more than half the wealth of the entire world.
That's true. Hey, Jay.
Besides their many castles, palace mansions, wineries, racehorses, and exotic resorts, the Rothschilds bought Reuters in the 1800s. Reuters then bought the Associated Press, which selects...
The Hess family is not as powerful as the Rothschild family.
Day after day.
The Rothschilds run the world.
They have controlling interest in 3 major television networks and easily avoid media attention since they own it. Until recently, they owned and operated England's Royal Mint and continue to be the gold agent for the Bank of England, which they also direct. They control the LBMA, London Bullion Market Association, where 30 to 42 million ounces of gold worth over $11 billion are traded daily. The Rothschilds earn millions weekly just on transaction fees alone. They also fix the world price of gold on a daily basis and profit from its ups and downs. Over the centuries, the Rothschilds have amassed trillions of dollars worth of gold bullion in their subterranean vaults and have cornered the world's gold supply. They own controlling interest in the world's largest oil company, Royal Dutch Shell. They operate phony charities and offshore banking services where the wealth of the black nobility in the Vatican is hidden in secret accounts at Rothschild Swiss banks, trusts, and holding companies. Although Evelyn Rothschild looks like a harmless gray-haired old man, make no mistake about it, Rothschild and his ancestors have handpicked presidents, crashed stock markets, bankrupted nations, orchestrated wars, and sponsored the mass murder and impoverishment of millions. The wealth hoarded by this one family alone could feed, clothe, and shelter every human being on earth. How did Evelyn Rothschild become the filthy rich Grand Vizier to Queen Elizabeth II and godfather of the black nobility? By birth, Evelyn Rothschild is the great-great-great-grandson of Mayer Rothschild and is passing the godfathership down to David de Rothschild.
That's one of them. Now I'm gonna answer some questions. Tariq, the creator of Hidden Colors, said Abigail. Yeah, Abigail is part of it. Abigail Disney. Jennifer, I'm gonna do a special on her because a lot of people do not know who Abigail Disney is, but she's the financial trustee of Times Up, Color Change, Me Too. She the one that funds all of that, and on top of that, she's married to one of the Rothschild bankers' sons. Okay, so under the Rothschild bankers, this way y'all. Anybody that got a parent? Do I have any parents on here? This is where y'all should get extremely fucking mad at. And I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll let y'all do easy because I'm gonna show the easy part to watch first. Then I'm gonna show the part that turns my goddamn stomach. If anybody go through CPS, Child Protective Services, this is what's going on. First things first. Let's go here. Everything I was telling you yesterday.
Local postal service, and I spoke with the government, and they gave me some options. So I want to just make it known that I, made a phone call. So this right here says mail fraud. Okay. Return to sender. That's them. Okay. Refusal for cause without dishonor. Pursuant to UCC 3501. Tell them to cease and desist, but I already said this is the third notice because I sent it 3 times. Okay. Violation of 18 USC 1341 and 1342. Now, I played with these people long enough. Violation of Chapter 3, Section 3003, Title 39, Title 18, USC 1341 and 1342. Say it again. Refusal of solicitation is what the person at the postal service told me, the government one, the head one. No contract. Okay. Return to sender again. Now, this is my proof. This is exactly what it's going to be. Well, it's being uploaded now. Y'all guys watching it. This is my proof. I'm putting it in a couple spots so that way online is there. Take pictures of it as well so y'all guys clearly see this. Y'all take a picture of that. Let me move my finger down. Ooh, gotta tell you. Take a picture of this. Take a picture of that. Y'all 100 Kings, y'all my witness on this. This is what we need to start doing. Okay? So that way we have proof. This is going to be filed in the 100 Kings file. Okay?
That's the first step of the 9 child support. Now, what y'all about to see is deserve to be a parent. Come on, man. Damn.
And if you were removing a child, a contrary to the welfare finding in that order is mandatory. If you do not make that finding whenever you remove a child from a place, fixed. But my recollection is that the federal government says if you didn't make that right at the outset, first time through, you're not going to get any federal money for those services ever. And especially in the private removals, I mean, CPS will have its documents set up so that you're making those when you're signing off on it. On the private removals, grandma trying to take the kid, even if all the allegations are true, parents are horrible, those kinds of things. If you don't go through and check some boxes or make a finding somewhere in those orders, CPS is going to have a kid that they can't pay for.
And let me tell you, we just had this happen in Maricopa County. We've had at Durango, I told you they have all of the cases going through one judicial officer initially for signing all these temporary orders. A petition was filed by DES, and they did an in-home petition. And they thought they had good cause for making this an in-home. So the child was not removed from the home that the child had been placed in. By the way, this was a 15-year-old mother who herself was a ward and was in a foster care situation, okay? But when that paperwork is filed in the in-home petition, CPS, when we say CPS and DES, we're talking the same thing, all right? Child Protective Services, Department of Economic Security. They are representing petition, they send over their temporary orders. In those temporary orders, they are designed for the in-home or the the judicial officer who read the petition thought, no way in-home, crossed off in-home, wrote out of home. but that contrary to the welfare act finding was not made. CPS is obligated pursuant to that court order to go in and remove the child. And right now, we're doing some backpedaling, set aside those orders so that that funding can attach to that baby and that. So anyways, if you are going to play with the paperwork that they're sending over for you because you think this child's at risk, make sure you have your staff call the AG's office and get out of home temporary orders put together so that we'll walk you through it.
What happens, the question is, when a majority is the remedy to dismiss the dependency, those kinds of things? Or, and my answer is no. And the reason is that there are two ways to remove a child. CPS can go in and grab them. They've got to be able to do that or people get hurt. The second way is upon order of the court, children can be removed. And I don't think you can say in good faith, well, it looks like CPS messed up, so I am forced as a judge to return a child to an abusive situation where someone is going to get hurt. My answer is, well, that's too bad. There's must be some remedy in the law. Maybe it's a civil rights lawsuit or something for money if you want to pursue it. But once I've determined as a judge that this child should be removed, the answer isn't you messed up previously and so you're sending the kid back. The answer is, okay, you're unfit, you go get a jury trial in civil land and convince them you're entitled to a bunch of money when the child should have been removed anyway. I would not return that child if, having gotten everyone in front of me, I determined the child should be removed. I just wouldn't do it.
Wow. So CPS judge. So the CPS judge
Yes.
is pretty much telling y'all or telling the folks
And I'm here today on behalf of
how to lie and how to traffic kids for federal money. All of this is under the system of the Democratic Party and of the Rothschild family and of George Soros, who Obama and the Clintons worked for. But, somebody going to say, well, Dana, how you know that? So here's what I'm going to say to you. Take my word for it. Do your research. But I'm about to give you a research right now. This right here, it's called Game Over.
All are complicit in this massive conspiracy to not only overthrow President Trump, but to destroy this nation from within it and cover up for the
Blower makes a big report on the conversation. But when the whistleblower makes a big report on the conversation I had with a president of Ukraine, and it was a great conversation. We talked mostly about congratulations on your win. We talked about corruption, and we're really referring mostly to 2016, because what the Democrats did in 2016 was corrupt. And let's see what happens. They're more concerned with that than they are with me in impeachment. They're trying to hide what maybe is coming. I let our great, if you look, I let our great law enforcement take care of it, okay? Attorney General Barr, I guess, is working on it, and I hope he's working on it, because what happened in 2016 is a disgrace to this country. And they're more worried about that, because they know they're guilty as hell, all right? They're much more worried about that.
On this episode of Just Informed Talk, we're going to take a look at the latest new Q post. As Q says, it's
Wait a minute.
Over.
Wait a minute.
The corrupt individual.
Wait a minute.
Cabal.
Wait. I'm going to show y'all something. I'm going to show y'all something. Show y'all something. Look at the ties. Look at the ties. You see how Obama got a dark red tie on? I told y'all about the colors of the ties. You see who this man is right here? The Rothschild? Here we go.
Country globally to undermine our security and sovereignty. And we're going to look at who is a part of this massive conspiracy to overthrow a duly elected president and how we have come to the point that we are at today. So you guys are going to want to stick around and check out that and a whole lot more. Hi, and welcome to another episode of Just Informed Talk. I'm your host, Craig, and I want to say thank you to everybody here already. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please come here. Click the big red subscribe button. Make sure you turn off notifications.
Come on, Greg.
You
No.
gotta select the all button so you get notified as soon as all of these videos are posted. Yes, we have a bunch of new posts that we're going to get into here today, and we're just going to jump right into it. So where we left off was at Q Post 3865. We're picking up at Q Post 3866, and there's been a lot that's happened over the last few days. Obviously, I haven't posted in a few days.
This was Friday.
But just had to be with the family and take care of a few things, and now I'm back. So we're going to get right into it, talk about a few other interesting news stories that are really pertinent to everything that's happening here today. So you guys, let's start right here. The first post he wants us to look at is this Axiom report clip from Hannity, right, where Hannity says, quote, "Sources confirm that AG Barr is focused on something much bigger, much deeper, that will have far-ranging, serious ramifications. Evidence is overwhelming and uncontrovertible. Slam dunk case. Bigger slam dunk charges coming." Where do we go on? We go all QAnon. So, I mean, Hannity basically says it here in the show that there's bigger slam dunk charges coming. And it's parroting exactly what QAnon just said on the boards the other day. But you know what? Just ignore it. We're all just a bunch of crazy conspiracy theorists. There's nothing to see here, is what you would be hearing if you're watching fake news right now, but you're not. So in this particular instance, I'm going to play the clip from Hannity, and then we'll talk about it.
We have more good news. The McCabe dismissal is, frankly, when you really look at it, it's a declination to prosecute on one specific issue. Here's my read between that and General Flynn news today, because we know that Barr just installed an outside counsel to look into the General Flynn case.
And we on something different right now. Hold on.
Here, and my sources confirming, the same sources that I've been using for years,
Dominic,
getting the story right for 3 years, that the Attorney General, Bill Barr, is now focused on something much bigger, much deeper, that will have far-ranging ramifications, serious ramifications for that 1%
Ms. Dior.
abused power,
right?
That 1% involved in the corruption, those deep state bureaucrats who abuse their power. Because as we speak, the Durham Barr criminal probe is underway. I've been told by my sources that, in fact, it has gone deep, it has gone wide, it has gone far, and the evidence they are accumulating is overwhelming and incontrovertible.
Not true, Fantasia.
Telling me tonight.
Well, go ahead.
Program, we refer to all of this as the investigation into the investigators. Now, according to reports, this investigation is scrutinizing the actions now, and we've been wondering when this is going to come. Former CIA Director John Brennan and many other current and former deep state officials responsible for the Russia hoax. Remember, the origins of the Russia hoax. That's the heart of the investigation.
I will.
And now it has expanded out far and wide. Durham has spent weeks in Italy and Great Britain. That would tell me and indicate to me that the outsourcing of intelligence gathering and spying on Americans to circumvent American law is in play. I am told that this evidence that we already have, it was about premeditated fraud on a FISA court. Nobody else in the media got that story right. We got it right on this program. The evidence is proven. It's a slam dunk case.
So obviously there you have Hannity saying it's a slam dunk and pointing out exactly what we've been told by Q for quite some time now, that they're going to go after these guys on these little process crimes. I mean, I gave an example of someone earlier I was talking to, Bila, and I said basically it's like this. If we're putting together a conspiracy case against El Chapo, we're trying to get him on RICO for running the largest drug cartel in Mexico, are we really going to, waste our time processing him for jaywalking or for switching lanes illegally or for coming here illegally when we have a much bigger important case that has to have our attention as far as putting it together? And you got to remember, these investigations and these indictments and everything take a long time to compile and put together. So that's what I see here. This is how I read it. It's simple. You're not going to go after these guys over these little process crimes of lying and all that stuff, because remember, that's why they go after guys like Flynn and Stone and the rest for these little process crimes, because they don't have a bigger case being built. Right? They don't have a larger investigation being worked on right now. What they do have are, he lied on a 302 that was probably doctored, or he lied about, or exaggerated some connection that he had. That's all they have. whereas we have actual cases that are coming down the pipeline, presumably. So the next one here, which I thought was really interesting, was this tweet from Q about CJ Truth from this long thread, and it talks about how this all is put together. So let's read through the thread real quick. It's only like, I think, 10 posts or so, but this is an interesting thread. We'll read right through. You think nothing's happening, you might want to think we can review. You remember when Q wrote on Sunday, February 9th of this week, Justice Q. So what happened since then? This week, Chinese telecommunications conglomerate Huawei and subsidiaries charged in racketeering conspiracy to steal trade secrets. Jussie Smollett indicted with 6 charges for his hoax crimes. Justice Department launches legal assault to roll back sanctuary cities. AG Barr announced that Giuliani had turned over to them investigative information about Ukraine corruption with former administration. Trump goes on a Twitter spree highlighting that nothing ever happened to the crimes Tony Podesta did. Trump torches corrupt Judge Berman Jackson about injustices about Manafort, but gave HRC a pass. Michael Avenatti
Ms. Dio, that's
on all charges today. Roger Stone sentencing evaluated by AG Barr as being outrageous, 9 years.
Ms. Dio, that's all we can do is wake people up.
Only 3 to 5, and the four corrupt Mueller investigators all resigned. 5, I'm here to announce the indictment of Chinese military hackers for breaking into the computer systems of the credit reporting agency Equifax and for stealing the sensitive personal information of nearly half of all American citizens. Trump White House fires Alexander Vindman. Trump White House fires Gordon Sondland. Trump National Security Council removes 70 former Obama holdovers, with maybe even more coming. Graham sent a letter to Attorney General Barr on Friday asking that he make 17 officials, many of whom are identified only by title, available for interviews. Durham scrutinizing John Brennan's handling of Russian interference in 2016. AG Barr installs outside prosecutor to review case against General Flynn amid turmoil in Roger Stone case and refusal to charge Andrew McCabe at the U.S. AODC. The AG has sent outside prosecutors to review politically sensitive cases. 10, this is only Friday afternoon. 2, as I said before, for those crying about McCabe getting off for lying, you really don't understand the big picture. If you start really paying attention, then you won't be the kid on the left, but the kid on the right. So there you go. This is pretty interesting. You read through this thread and it tells you what you need to know about all of the events that happened, and puts it together very succinctly and very clearly. And not to mention, I think it's interesting that Q reposted somebody named CJ Truth. Just saying. But moving forward, the next post here, 3868, that Q gives us, first points us to this Twitter post from this Carly Q Kaluska, saying the secret tarmac meeting. What happens when Loretta Lynch can no longer provide legal cover for the Clintons? Tarmac meetings end. Q, the more you know. So what are they talking about here? Obviously, the meeting between between Bill Clinton and Loretta Lynch on the tarmac in that Arizona airport, where it was said that they only discussed golf and grandkids, when what has been alleged to have happened on that plane was that Bill Clinton offered Loretta Lynch a seat on the Supreme Court if she would just throw away the case against Hillary Clinton, so that when Hillary Clinton won, presumably that's what they all thought was going to happen. They never thought she would lose. That then she would in turn nominate her to fill the vacancy on the Supreme Court, and bada boom, bada bing, there you go. Cover up complete. But President Trump and the Patriots, who are in control now, threw a wrench into all of that. Q says, page 203 of this, which is the other thing that Q points to, the Office of the Inspector General report. If we go and read it, Q tells us to look at this quote, saying the OPA supervisor said that he later learned that former President Clinton's Secret Service detail had contacted Lynch's FBI security detail and let them know that the former president wanted to meet with Lynch. Although Lynch's staff was supposed to receive notice of such requests, witnesses told us that they were not informed of the request from President or former President Bill Clinton. Let me ask you, 2018, that this is telling us right here the opposite of what they told us, right? They told us it was a happen chance thing. They happened to be at the airport at the same time, and they just wanted to have a friendly conversation about golf and grandkids. But here we are seeing this out of the report that told us and confirmed that they had coordinated this meeting. So which is it? And why the secret of meeting on a tarmac? Obvious. They had to have a private place to discuss how the then Attorney General would handle the investigation and subsequent onslaught of media that would happen with and associated with this major case against Hillary Clinton and these emails. And they discussed how to handle it by doing what? By squashing it, by getting rid of it. And that seems to be what they did. It says coordination, date of tarmac meeting, date of HRC investigation, end announcement, 1 + 1 = 2. It's going to be a very hot spring, summer Q. So yeah, if you look at all of it and how it all aligns, it really makes you think and wonder, why was this all ended, and when did this all happen? The threat meeting happened before the investigation ended, and there you go. So putting it together for you guys, and Q saying, look at this very closely, and that this is going to be coming up, especially as we move into the next election cycle, because this has never really been resolved, and we've been ongoing with Durham investigating the coup against President Trump. We haven't even had time to get into the Huber investigations. But in all reality, there was more than just John Huber. And remember, B-2 stealth bombers, that might be something to consider. There may be a few more out there that you don't know about or I don't know about yet. Just saying. Now the next one here, he points us to this older December 2019, which gave us a YouTube video and said, watch and listen carefully. Dems threatened to call independently elected officials to fall in line, follow orders, or face being ousted. Who controls the Democratic Party? Who really controls the Democratic Party? Threat. If a major political party can be controlled, does that represent a clear and present danger to the United States of America? George Soros Q.
There go that next.
In my humble opinion, if an entire political party can be controlled by an outside force that is not the independent electorate of this country, then that is a clear and present danger to the United States of America. And if that individual happens to be a guy like George Soros or anyone else, that is wrong. And we're here calling it out, but it gets so much worse as Q goes on to elaborate. He then points us to this Ryan Saavedra story where it talks about the Dershowitz coming out and saying that he has proof that Obama ordered an FBI investigation at the request of George Soros.
djackson0807@gmail.com.
And yes, I know he's connected to Jeffrey Epstein. Yes, I know he represented Jeffrey Epstein. I also know that Q's told us that he is on board. And I also know that Virginia, whatever her name is, Roberts or Greff, I'm not sure which one it is, but she said and made these claims against Alan Dershowitz. And I'm not saying whether
djackson0807@gmail.com.
We're being pointed to this information for a very important reason, and that's because this may be the bombshell that everybody has to see to believe. Because think about it. The reason why Dershowitz is being brought in to this is because he's a Democrat, because he's been revered by the left, because he's been in all of these circles. Now, I'm not saying he's a good guy. I don't know him personally. I don't know anything about him. But I will say this. If he is in possession of evidence, the left has to take him seriously. The fake news can't just dismiss him. He is not somebody who that CNN will, I mean, they'll try, of course. But at this point, it doesn't look like they could go after him in that way. So that's why it's important to have him on board with what's going on here as far as the disclosure goes. But anyway, he goes on to say that he is in possession of FBI 302s, right? That seemed, those are the documents, recorded, conversations, investigation reports, and that seem to show that George Soros had the power to go to our country's FBI and request an investigation. So that should be why the mainstream media keeps saying, George Soros is just this nice, innocent guy who's never done anything wrong. George Soros has been using his vast fortune to control and influence an entire political party in this nation, and has done it in a way that we've only seen the tip of the iceberg as far as how bad this actually gets and how deep it goes. But let's listen to what Q has to say about all this. Q says, purpose, Dems install numerous rules and regulations, read the Democratic Party. How do you control the outcome? Why is the outcome important when George Soros calls who racist to answer? Illusion of democracy. Q. So think about it this way. What Q is telling us is
Yep.
the Democratic Party presents an illusion of democracy because it's really just controlled by people like George Soros and his ilk. It's the same people who think they can buy influence and control, like Mike Bloomberg and the rest. These guys who have billions and billions of dollars, who own the major corporations, who are in the pockets of all of, who have in their pockets all of the Democrat politicians who are a part of their little machine, their political machine that they've established. And then they fund their campaigns and they go to their little, dinners, pay $1,000 a plate. And then in return, they get whatever they want from the halls of Congress. And that's how they're asleep. And they were being treated like sheep. But now the American people have been waking up and doing it in mass numbers. And that's why they attack Q. And that's why they want to shut down anybody who presents a different narrative to theirs, because they understand that when people start thinking outside the box and thinking for themselves and objectively looking at these facts, there's no way that they're going to come to the conclusion that the Democrats have been working for the will of the American people. They've been working for their own self-interest to enrich themselves and to sell the American people out to the highest bidder. And that's what it seems to have been for quite some time. So, you guys do with that what you may. Now, the next one here is Q just pointing back to this older Q post, which gave us the cover of Time, right, where they painted it like the Russian KGB building, which is crazy, right? This shows you how corrupt the whole media establishment is, because they want to try to portray President Trump as a Russian agent when all of the Democrats have been selling everything up to Russia and China and anyone else who would give them a few dollars, like the Saudis and the rest. So this is Q saying people around the world are waking up to the fact,
right, Mr. Wonderful,
the corporate Democrat Party politically controlled 6 corporations own 90% media. Fake news is not unbiased journalism, not politically motivated and controlled. But politically motivated and controlled. Statements, not facts. Think for yourself and stop being a sheep to their narrative. They will be held accountable. Nobody walks away from this Q. So hopefully this is all a part of the plan, and I think it is. And it seems like we're letting these people show their true colors, because another thing is a lot of people go, oh, why isn't Trump firing everybody and kicking everybody out? I mean, has anybody ever heard of the saying, keep your friends close, but your enemies closer? So, yeah, that's what that is. And let's just get to the next one here. The next one's 45 Harrison Herald on Twitter here saying, is this who George Soros made puppet Hussein investigate? So Q's told us there's this connection between George Soros and Hussein administration, where he has this influence, either bought or leveraged through.
Time out. Who was the Hussein administration? If you notice, they talking in codes. Who is the Hussein administration? That's Barack Hussein Obama. That's his administration. Hold on.
Blackmail or whatever it is, that he was able to do things like we just talked about, as in ordering the FBI to investigate a person. Now, if it is true that George Soros basically forced the Hussein administration to investigate President Trump, ladies and gentlemen, at what point do we cross into the realm of treason? Or did we do that a long time ago and nobody wants to talk about it, and the fake news is covering it up, and they all are complicit in this massive conspiracy to not only overthrow President Trump, but to destroy this nation from within and cover up for the criminals who sold our global security and sovereignty to the highest bidders around the world. Saudis, the Chinese, the Russians. No. Nothing to see here. Let's watch this clip real quick.
There was tremendous corruption against me. If we fail this corruption, we have a right to go to a foreign country. And just so you know, I was investigated. Okay, me, in my campaign, I ran, I won. I was investigated. You won't say that, will you? I was investigated, and they think it could have been by UK. They think it could have been by Australia. They think it could have been by Italy. So when you get down to it, I was investigated by the Obama administration. I was investigated. So these people talk. But as far as I'm concerned, what I want to look at and what we want to investigate, anything having to do with corruption.
So there you have President Trump, laying it out. That's what it is. He was the one who was investigated. He was the one who was investigated by the Obama administration, where he went out and used Italy and the Australians and the British in order to pull off this hoax scam, trying to paint the President of the United States, the man we all voted for and trust, as a Russian agent for no other reason than President Trump was going to destroy the corrupt criminal cabal of political bureaucrats and criminal globalists who had basically made this fusion between each other, where they're donating to the Clinton Foundation and they're propping up these initiatives, the McCain Foundation. Look at what happened with Obama and the book deal. Look at what happened with Hillary Clinton, Uranium One deal. You can go down the list. There are so many things that you can list off just off the top of your head here, that it becomes incredibly obvious that these people have so much to lose and nothing to gain. Not to mention, there's certain things. I have sources that have information that is going to shock the conscience of the public when it comes out, and that's all I can say about that. But you guys don't even know how bad all this gets, because it gets so much worse. You have to mark my words on that. But Q says, do people really believe this attack can happen against the President of the United States and nothing will happen? Moves and counter moves, Q. And then Q says, finally, to be blunt, game over. That's what it is, folks. It's game over for these criminals. And trust me, I think I have a good idea of some of the information that's coming down the pipeline. Like I said, it's going to be so big that it's going to change the course of history. And I mean that not to be one of those people who's like, oh, well, you say all this and nothing happens. Well, guess what? We just saw all the things that have happened. And not only that, you can ignore it, you can mock it, you can say that it's all made up, but it's coming, and it's going to change the entire course of history for this country, because we're going to expose these people, and they can't shut us all down. They may shut a few of us here, a few of us there, but we will never back down. The patriots are in control. They're watching out for other patriots in this country, and we're not going to allow our system to be overtaken by these people again. And that's the way that's where I'm going to go ahead and just leave it. A few more things before we go. Obviously, stories coming out about George Soros now calling for the removal of Zuckerberg from Facebook, and the Sheryl Sandberg, the other person that works there. So there you go. That just tells you everything you need to know about him. President Trump goes to Zuckerberg, says you can't use this CIA LifeLog or DARPA LifeLog program to, basically manipulate the elections and do all the things that we know you can do, right? Like Dr. Epstein, not related to Jeffrey Epstein, Dr. Epstein, who went and testified in front of Congress and said that Mark Zuckerberg, with one message on Facebook, could sway 10 million votes or more, right? That is what we're trying to avoid. And because Mark Zuckerberg won't use that influence, George Soros says he needs to be removed because he's not controllable. Well, that's all you need to know about that, right? Another thing here, just wanted to point out, Trump administration officials have announced that they're going to reassign this woman, Victoria Coates, from the National Security Council, because everyone is labeling her as this anonymous author who wrote the op-ed at the New York Times that said that she was a part of the resistance within President Trump's administration. Now, let me ask you something. First of all, like I said before, keep your friends close, enemies closer. Genius move, right? We kept all these people near and let them expose themselves because it's easy. These people are stupid. But also, what I thought was interesting about this story is that this woman now has been labeled as anonymous, right? And where is President Trump transferring her? Well, it seems that President Trump's going to transfer the anonymous, supposedly, anonymous author to the Department of Energy. And what do we know about the Department of Energy? That's where we first talked about the Q clearance. And where it came from was the Department of Energy. So is that just another proof of Q, another, wink and a nod to the anons out there? Like, we'll take the anon and put them in the Department of Energy. Probably in a very lowly position at this point if they are that person who tried to overthrow a president. But maybe the Department of Energy has an outpost up in Alaska somewhere where it doesn't get too sunny and it's not too comfortable. But you never know. And the next one here is this American thinker. I'm going to leave a link to this. I want you guys to read it. Another great story about QAnon. Just a great thing if you want to share with your friends, family, whoever. And if you want to read it yourself, get it, read it. It's very interesting. And finally, the FBI's raiding James Biden tied business. Well, I wonder, nothing's happening, yet everything is happening. So just remember that. And finally, don't forget, it's all going to come out what happened. We had this NYPD detective who's just committed suicide in his Queens home. It's a very sad, tragic story. We pray for his family. And ultimately, though, don't forget, General Flynn, back in November of 2016, retweeted Eric Prince's story from Breitbart, where Eric Prince tells us in no uncertain terms that the NYPD was ready to make arrests because of all the criminal information that was found in the 600,000 plus emails on Anthony Weiner's laptop. And a lot of these officers, according to my sources, saw this information. There was about, I don't know how many, somewhere around 10 or 12, and they're all no longer with us, it seems. So that's what is happening. And I don't know if it's witness relocation or if it's witness protection or if it's, just Clinton, who knows what. But I'm putting it this way. This is something that we have to continue to keep our eye on because these stories aren't going away. But that's where I'm going to go ahead and leave it. I want to say thank you guys for watching. Remember to watch these videos, share them, because there's a content suppression algorithm.
What is that telling you? Hillary Clinton promotes the killing of 17 planet. Man. I'm just trying to tell y'all what it is. I'm trying to help y'all see exactly what's going on. So that's one part of, it was titled U.S. Who's Your Daddy? Now, the Rothschilds run everything. So the Rothschilds is your daddy and George Soros is the uncles. I'll be back today at 8:30 p.m. We're going to talk some more. We're going to talk some more about breaking free, about voting. Okay, here's the thing. Voting is for citizens, right? You're not a citizen. So since you're not a citizen, rituals and their activities, just like driving a car. Here's my question. Why do you got to have a commercial driver's license to drive a privately owned vehicle? Make that make sense. Everything they do is a contract. Your voter's registration card is a contract. I haven't looked at my syllabus for the night, but I think tonight is the night that I'm put all that. Again, I'm gonna go live and I'm gonna pull up your UHMEI numbers, and I'm gonna show each and every last person that wants to do it of how many people is trading on your numbers and everything right now. Dana, how can I get my son in your father's group? Just hit me on Facebook. Let me know what you want to do, and I'll go in and add them. All right. Thank all of y'all for joining. Peace.